Hi everybody, and welcome to this 2-minute tying tutorial. The pattern I'm going to be tying today is one that Cabela's really seems to advertise a little bit. It's known as the Hot Belly Pheasant Tail. This is a really great pattern to tie because A, it's very quick, B, it's very effective, and C, it looks kind of fun as well. To start off with, I have an Allen fly fishing hook. It's an N203 BL. I got a size 14, though I'll tie this anywhere between sizes probably 12 to 20. I'll use 20s in smaller patterns. I have a tungsten bead, and I just put some black 8/0 thread on it. To start off with, I'm just going to grab some pheasant tail fibers. I'm looking for around, 5, 6 fibers. Don't be too crazy about counting them out. And just trim those. Once I have the tips lined up, I'm going to place them directly coming off the back of the hook. I have my thread in that position, so wherever I make my thread turns, I just want to keep my thread as close to that position as possible. I'm just going to make a few turns, no more than that. I might grab a piece of small ultra wire. You can have a large section of this already pre-cut to really help you kick these out. I'm just going to place it up close to the bead, nearly inside the bead. And by placing it nearly inside the bead, that will kind of lock it in place. I'm not sure if you can see that. Let me get my thread out of the way. But that wire is locked directly inside the bead, which basically means you don't have to worry too much about holding it in place. Then I'll just advance my thread. Now I'm ready to bring my pheasant tail forward. I'm going to wrap this first wrap, and as I'm wrapping this first one, I want to make sure that I kind of go back a little bit to make sure I cover all of my black thread. And you can just wrap forward. You're going to bring it forward about 3/4 of the way. Once you get there, just lock that in place. You're going to actually come back to those fibers. You're going to use them for the wing case. Next, you have your wire. I'm going to bring this in the opposite direction. That way, if a fish does attempt to bite this pheasant tail with its teeth, hopefully the pheasant tail fibers will not tear, and if they do happen to tear, this wire will kind of keep them in place. I'm going to kind of overcompensate with that wire in the front. I just like to overwrap it just to add a little extra weight near the head and the thorax. And trim that wire. There's a little piece of wire there. You can just kind of push that down or pull it back with your finger. All right, next I'm just going to wrap back a little bit. I do like to overextend the thorax of this pattern. And now it's the last section. I'll zoom out so I can show you the dubbing for this. The dubbing for this can really be anything of your choosing. Basically, think of this as a hot spot. That's why it's called the Hot Belly. You can use pink. You can use orange. For this pattern, I'm going to use purple. If you want to use blue, for some reason, rainbows just love blue. Think about stock trout. This is a great pattern to use on stock trout. And for some reason, they really just go crazy sometimes with these oddball colors that really have no business in a trout stream. So I might put on some purple. I'm going to leave the dubbing just a little loose. I don't want to get it too tight. Once I have it relatively loose, I'm just going to wrap it in place. Bring it to the head, kind of pull the rest of it forward. By pulling it forward, I'm kind of getting those extra fibers on top. I don't want too many of those fibers. I'm just going to trim them out of the way. Next, I bring my pheasant tail fibers forward because I want to lock those in place for the wing case. Just get a couple wraps in there. I like to place one wrap in front. Go to a whip finish. Go to a half hitch to hold it in place. Lead that into my whip finish. I only need 3 for this pattern since I have that half hitch in there. If you want to use head cement, you can. I'm not going to worry about it because everything of mine should be locked in place. I might trim the thread and the pheasant tail all at once. Then I just need one final piece, and it's just my velcro. With my velcro, I'm just going to kind of pull out some of these fibers just to give it that appearance of legs and to make that thorax a little scruffier. If you have any excess on the bottom, just pull it away, and there is your finished Hot Belly Pheasant Tail. Just a quick little pattern to tie. Great pattern. It just really seems to light up in the water. Don't be afraid to try it on some natural trout, but this is just a neat little pattern, especially to try out whenever you have some stockies that you're going after. All right, thanks everybody for viewing this 2-minute tying tutorial. Thanks to Allen Fly Fishing for the N203 BL Shrimp and Caddis Pupa Hook. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them directly on this YouTube page, or you can email me at tcamisa@gmail.com. Thanks.